Self-help, self-help, self-help. I don't like. I avoid. But self-help likes me. I can't avoid because today our society is literally filled with hundreds of self-help tips and quotes, which was once upon a time was started as a service to the people by intellectuals, by real intellectuals who know what is self-help and how to make people help themselves better. But today self-help industry is hijacked by those who want money. So they don't want to really provide service to the people, but they just want to earn money by providing false hope to the people. So today I am going to expose two of the self-help myths, two of the myths which are acting as a pillar for this scam, kind of scam like a thing. So let's see, my presentation is on debunking two self-help myths. So I am going to explain the obvious truth. Self-help books are once upon a time were started by intellectuals like Sigmund Freud, who thought to write books to the people to communicate some ways to prevent and to mitigate the problems to the best maximum extent, but they never gave any false hope to the people like those self-help books that are available in the market today. So let's see the first myth number one: you can learn from your mistakes, but it is not really possible. The thing is, like, you are most likely to repeat the same mistakes you do in the life. It is the truth, because humans are a animal of habit. They act on habits which they have. So that's why residivism is also very common. Residivism is the behavior where a human commits a crime again and again and again, even after getting the punishment. That's why we do some things even after knowing that it is wrong. That's how addiction builds up. Everyone having the addiction knows that it is harmful, but still do it. There's also a branch of physics, branch of psychology that goes along with and describing two types of conditioning: operant conditioning and classical. So these are all the by this concept we can know that we cannot learn from your mistakes, but we can learn how we are from the mistakes. That is, we cannot prevent the mistakes to the maximum, because after some period of time, like in Tamil they say ஐந்தில் வளையாது ஐம்பதில் வளையாது. That is, you cannot change yourself after a certain period of time. During your childhood or during your adolescence, your character is almost fixed. There's also another thing which proves this point. This is called repetition compulsion. So what this says is humans tend to behave in the same way because they are very comfortable with that. So they repeat the same thing again and again, what they did in the childhood or what they think or what they are comfortable with. So we cannot learn from our mistakes, but we can, to a point, can change our some fringe parts from some external, not so important parts of your life by learning from a mistake. But our core aspects and issues of our existence cannot be changed even from when we learn from our mistakes. That's why no amount of trauma, hurt can modify our core behavior. This is the first myth. Why I am debunking this myth is the whole self-help industry is going nuts around this thing. The thing is called you can learn from your mistakes, but in reality you can learn from your mistakes, but you can only change a little bit. You can only learn from your mistakes a bit. That even learning won't change your core aspects. That's what I am saying, trying to say. So why we do this? It is very simple. We do this because our comfort zone, because we are very humans tend to be in their comfort zone and do things that are familiar and and which they are well acquainted with. Okay, let's go to the second myth. The second myth is change is possible throughout life. Actually, this is also a myth. This is a main pillar of the self-help industry today. So what is, I mean, we can change ourselves, you may ask, but the truth is not. Transformational change, fundamental change is not possible throughout life. It is the reality. But self-help industry gives a false hope on that. Some behaviors, mood regulations may be modified, but meaningful changes is nearly impossible after the brain had fully formed by the age 25. So our character and our most behavioral patterns are set for life after 25 years of age. So no matter how hard you try, you cannot change your core behaviors, core personality traits after a particular age, because our brain's neuroplasticity has set. So we cannot change after a certain period of time. So what can we do? So we cannot learn from our mistakes very well. We can learn from our mistakes to an extent, but not to the fullest extent. Like we cannot change our core behavior no matter how hard we try. Then we cannot change ourselves also. Then what can we do? The simplest thing that most psychologists suggest is accept yourself and construct a realistic strategy by skillfully knowing your strength and weaknesses, by being extremely self-aware. This is the only way how you can truly help yourself. You cannot, the first two myths I told, they don't help you. They just put you in a fantasy world where no matter how many mistakes you do, it gives a false hope that there is still a way to chance. There's still a possible chance to change, but it is not the truth. So we need to be extremely self-aware and know our shortcomings and our faults, and we need to cope up with our abilities to develop in your life. This is the real self-help that most psychologists suggest, and not the first two false hopes. Also, I just need to give another self-help tip, a real self-help tip. So some tips to be healthy are: you should be self-aware, that is, you should know what you are and what you can do and what you can't do, because all humans are not omnipotent. They are not gods that who can do everything. It is not possible. And the second thing is self-acceptance. You need to accept. Once you have been self-aware, you know what are your shortcomings and what are your strengths and weaknesses. Just do a thorough SWOT analysis of yourself. Now you come to the second step of accepting those. You should not, oh my god, I can't do this, oh my god, I can't do this. Just accept that. It is just who you are. You cannot change drastically from that. So just accept that. Once you have the acceptance, you automatically come to a third position called self-trust. Now you trust yourself, because now you know yourself. Now you know what are strengths and weaknesses. So now you trust yourself because you know what you are. Now you have a trust. Okay, this is what I can do. So you can now jump into the action. So the jumping into the action is the fourth step called self-efficacy. Now you constantly go into the work, do the work efficiently. It's just all about working. After knowing your personal boundaries and your physical boundaries and your mental boundaries very well. So what is the formula that most psychologists present to being mentally health? It's easy. First, you should have self-love. That is, you should have love on yourself. That is, you should not have any bad or negative emotions about you. Of course, you should know your negative areas, but you should not emphasize on the negative things. Instead, you should try to cope up with it. And the second thing is boundaries. Boundaries is where it's about knowing your limit. Every human has a limit. No human is limitless. So every human has a certain threshold up to which they can work. After that, they can't. And the third one is self-regulation. So the self-regulation is how you regulate your mood based on your self-awareness. So you should know what to do and what not to do, and you should not get influenced by external factors easily. You should process every information from the external factors, and you should know how to interpret it properly. This is how you self-regulate. So these three things: self-love, boundaries, self-regulation, will give you a fruitful outcome of mental health, which is the need of the hour for most of the people. As we know, we are literally flooded with self-help tips. Thanks for listening.